statement is self-knowledge avails us nothing. It comes out of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, which to me is a beautiful statement, because most of us would think knowledge is quite valuable and it would avail us of a lot. But he's not just saying knowledge avails us nothing. He precedes it with self-knowledge. And if you've got a sense of selfing, you know that selfing's main movement, one of the main movements, is the claim. So let's just say knowledge is being presented to what we call us here, but the way it's held as you are getting the knowledge, yes? So self claims the knowledge. So let's say self claims the knowledge about itself. It avails you nothing because that knowledge won't lead to freedom from self. It will lead to maybe a desire to get free as a self, which is another form of bondage, yes? So the whole idea of knowledge, when it drops in, not being claimed, then the knowledge gets put to a different use by a different aspect of mind, not self-centeredness, yeah? And that knowledge can be quite liberating, because it will let's say it will inform you about self, but it will also have a very important point with every bit of information, which is you're not that, yeah? Either a very strong sense of that, or like an implied, or like a suspicious little, hey, you're not that, yeah? So knowledge for me distills into one statement, which is I am not that, yeah? I am not that which my mind is taking me to be. I am not that. That to me is knowledge. When any other knowledge comes in and the selfing claims it, and you become the one who holds the knowledge, you become knowledgeable, you become the knower, that's just another form of bondage, yeah? See, in other words, any knowledge that produces a sense of being the knower of it is actually the same subject-object modality that we've been talking about, of this role of an object taking itself to be a subject and casting everything else as an object to it. That's the same netting you fell into again and again and again, yeah? And it may be about the net and how to get out of the net, but it doesn't ever lead you out of the net, because the identification of self is in place. So self can't get out of self. No matter how much knowledge self gets about self, it can never get out of self with that knowledge, unless it distills into one very simple invitation, which is I'm not that. Then it's faced or confronted with its own absence, and at times when it sees that reflection, which is none at all, when it actually looks into its original face, which is empty and no thingness, then sometimes the selfing crumbles, yes? Then it stands back and doesn't reconfigure. Then it stands back and humbly sort of surrenders, yeah? But that's the power of knowledge. Yeah? But self-knowledge is knowledge that's been neutered, yeah? It's lost its vitality. It's lost its oomph. What it could have possibly triggered has been co-opted in a way. Yeah, and it actually gets used just to reinforce the idea of being a self. To tell you the truth. So that's my take on that statement. Self-knowledge avails you nothing. In the context of, you would hope knowledge would lead to a freedom from what is oppressing. Yeah, a freedom from what you would call bondage. You would hope knowledge would lend itself towards that. And in that case, it avails you nothing, because it doesn't lead you to that.